done the notifications seems as correct as I can. Automatically assigns roles to members who are currently streaming the server. Oh, cool. Transit Legacy. Uses Spyglass. What is go long back? Okay, this is using stuff. I don't know what this shit means, but it looks like it's... There we go! Alright. Did that ping? Let's see if anyone is watching yet who's in the server. I don't know if anyone's here. No, so we don't have anyone yet. That is fine. We'll go again. There we go. Alright, very cool. Now, we will let people trickle in, and we will chill for a couple minutes. Minute to 5. Don't know. Alright. Let's get some copyright-free music going, so I can, Oh wait, actually, I can just listen to it on my own. Put it up in the side. Yeah, I don't really want to... I don't want to have it live. I want to be able to listen to my own music just to stay focused. But, alright. I can do a couple tests, or I want to test if the pen that I got is working, or is showing up on stream. So if I fucking draw a bunch of circles... Shows up on my screen, but not on OBS. Okay. Get rid of that. Add... let's see, where is it? Display capture? No, display capture would not be it. What else am I looking for? What is the thing that I need? I don't know what it is. I still gotta fight over the Twitch app just so I can read chat without tabbing out 20 times. Very cool. Alright. So we can get... What can I do to get it working? Go ahead and kill the display capture thing here. Yes, I wish to remove display capture. Okay, add... What? Window capture? Window capture 3. Epic pin content surface. So if I... Oh my god, what the fuck? It just... Oh god. That doesn't work at all. Okay, that also doesn't work. Alright, we are not going to bother with that, and I am just going to turn on screen capture for the stream. Yeah, let's do screen capture. That's the easiest way to do it. Because ICBA to get it fixed properly. Because I have no idea how. Let's get... Let's see, desktop screen. Let's drag this up here. Let's put the camera over that. Capture method automatic. This. Okay. Nice. Alright. And use the stupid Twitch thing. Take a quick look. See if this is all working. Alright. Nice. Whew. Okay. First thing I want to do, actually, is pull up... Let's see, what is the best way to get to... I don't know how to type in the accent for... There we go. Okay. So I want to take a look at Zane's OPGG before I do anything. So we'll have this up. We'll have this up. And let's get started. Alright. So, take a quick look at his OPG first. This doesn't really matter because he did ask me to work specifically on his lane phase, but I do want to look and see what he's playing right now. So, Gold 2, Zane's a Gold to Plat 4 player. Used to be a Yi main. Apparently he's just kind of been switching between whatever kind of bruiser stuff he wants to play. The consistent GP build looks like he is going... Can I see the order? Build order? Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at a couple of these. I want to see if the build order ever changes. Let's look at the most recent 5 games. Okay. Okay. So, couple things right off the bat. OPL.GG. Runes. No domination. Treasure Hunter is fun, but you need specific stats. First strike, 2, 1, 1. And then it's resolve 1, 3, 0 or 1, 2, 0 base. AS 80. This is a mistake that I see a lot of people make on champions like GP, where it feels like attack speed doesn't matter. Makes it easier to last hit and easier to take short trades. It doesn't feel like it matters much, but if you play with it a lot and then switch back, you'll notice the way that it feels is more beneficial. Makes it easier to connect your passive autos, and actually, occasionally, this is rare, but it can matter for first strike. And if you're taking first strike, you want to be able to trigger it more easily. But a big thing is that attack speed helps you connect your barrels more consistently, so if you're walking up, putting the barrel down, and you're trying to go into a fight, into a 50-50, attack speed genuinely helps with that. As for build. So, Longsword start, Sheen Longsword. Sheen Longsword. Sword. Okay, cool. So, let's see, we see 1 pink, 1, 2 pinks. This one, bunch of pinks. Nice, 5 or 6. 1. Okay, 5 pink on second back. First is for Sheen. Work to manage waves, so we can back on 4th wave, 5th. Features, market, Sheen. And I'll demonstrate how to do stuff like that, or at least talk about how to do stuff like that later in the VOD. Matchup specific. GP Aurelia. Aurelia wins. Grasp is great. Bone plating, very helpful. GP, almost necessary. Unless you're strictly better. Alright, so the first strike page is a lot of ego versus Aurelia, in no small part because she can proc your first strike very easily by just tapping W. She doesn't need to hold the W to trade with you, because if you walk up in range to Q, she can flip the E, and if the E hits, she's able to outtrade you pretty effectively. So the trade pattern is not very favorable for first strike. There are a couple matchups where even though first strike is fun, it's not particularly good. That's all I really want to go over for the runes. Oh wait, I do want to check one more thing with the build, actually. Excuse me. So, ER... Wow, ER Prowlers at... Was this 14 minutes? 11 minutes? Holy shit. Gold gain is crazy. I mean, if the rune page works, if it hits, then you get, like, 800 extra gold super early and you get accelerated. But that's the high roll. Yeah, Essence Reaver, Prowlers. Okay. One more thing. I really don't like the idea of buying Prowlers after ER, but before Crit Cloaks. Very often you'll see high-level GPs pick up double Crit Cloak into Prowlers. You can even go, like, Dirk double Crit Cloak Prowlers. The build paths are a little awkward, and you do finish Prowlers later, but it makes your ability to clear much faster more consistent, and it lets you it raises your theoretical damage ceiling pretty drastically in top lane, because your crits go from feeling lucky to being like something you can actually rely on. So if you can connect 2-3 barrels in a row, you can very much get a kill just off the crits. And it's 1,200 gold to get 2 crit cloaks and 3,100 gold to get prowlers. So, right, and now we'll jump in. I did not mean to click the recording button. All right, so starting item, Corpot's Find against Aurelia. I have experimented with Cheer recently, but definitely not in matchups where you need stats. This is one of the few matchups you could go Doran's Blade. Every bit of early stats helps. Walking into this bush is good. Theoretically, sitting as far back as you can, or actually walking up here is a little closer. Vision range, if you're here, is from about here. Let's see, how do I... Yo, can I screen move, please? Oh god. Right. Oh, I guess I can just draw on it again. Yeah. So you'll get vision of this area. Like, you have enough time to get gank covered. But from right here, you're only covered from right here. This is a lot less distance than this, right? So, and this is true for a lot of the places that you can sit at level 1. Staying in the bush actually ends up typically being less optimal than walking out right here. Double points if your opposing top laner can't actually force on you 1v1. Aurelia, even though she's really strong in a GP, even though her level 1 is theoretically really good in lane, she actually can't just take a fight against you because she doesn't have a way to reset her Q. So we know that Kindred's starting bot. So we should already and immediately be thinking about a couple things. Oh, okay. So this isn't relevant. We don't even need to watch this. Doesn't matter. There's only one thing that matters here, which is that the moment you see these guys, you need to walk like directly into, yeah, so right now, this is 56 seconds. So you would have about 35 seconds, maybe 40 seconds to wait until the waves crash to posture, right? They haven't even spawned yet. You, walk into their jungle, put a ward down. You can ward right here, see if their jungler resets. Do something to get vision on Lee Sin. And it may feel like you're warding too early. If you drop this ward at like a minute 20, then it's dead at 250. And theoretically, on average, junglers finish their 6 camp at 3 minutes 30. But if you see him early, then you know he's cheesing you top lane. And if you don't see him by the time the ward expires at 2 minutes 50 seconds, you know he's either doing something cheesy somewhere else in the map, or he's just doing the full clear, right? So it gives you the same information you need, but it's earlier to put it down. You don't have to wait until you get prio on the 3rd wave and risk him showing up top and matching you. You just get to guarantee knowledge of the lane. And obviously you can't walk in and do that safely in normal games, or in the average game, but when you see 5 invade bot, the moment you see the Aurelia, you can walk straight in, take the ward. You know that you're completely uncontested. As for lane setup, you know that Kindred is starting bot side. You know that your mid is Zed into Syndra, so it's not too much gank setup, but Syndra can die. You know that both Kindred and Lee Sin want to fight over crabs. Kindred has her marks, Lee Sin is very aggressive early game. So you want to be playing for prio over playing for, like, safety of CS. Even though you're a carry, even though you're a late game scaler, it's still very important to play for, like, the patterns that you know the team is going to take. Like, Kindred will always take 3, 4, 5 camps and fight over a mark. That's what Kindred does. Maybe she'll gank first, but doesn't matter. Okay. This is already a mistake. And it sounds a little ridiculous, but this distance is about 600 units, so that's 2 auto attacks, right? A champion moves 300 units, or 2 seconds of not being able to auto. It doesn't sound like much, but if Aurelia walks up, right, and contests you, then you just back off, you Q her, right? Maybe you're scared, maybe you're not scared, level 1, whatever it is. That doesn't matter because the matchup doesn't matter right now. What matters right now, oh god, get me off this pen thing. What matters right now is that if she was here, or because she's not here, you can force priority and force wave state. And we can go ahead and just count right now every auto attack you've missed. So every, like, 3 seconds that pass is 2 auto attacks, basically. We'll just sit here. We'll just wait for Aurelia to show up. And she shouldn't be this late, but she made a mistake on the reset. All right. She can contest you on the wave right now when she can Q onto these minions. So from 1 minute 38 seconds to 1 minute 51 seconds, that is 13 seconds. So you had the ability to get 7 or 8 auto attacks in. 7 or 8 auto attacks, if you wanted to hard push, means the wave's gone. You don't want to hard push. You're as aware of that as I am because you're not hitting these minions. But there are a number of good reasons to go ahead and hit. First one is that your passive is going to come back within a couple seconds of her returning. The cooldown is, I believe, 16 seconds early game. Doesn't show up on the tooltip in spectate mode because, I don't know, Riot hates God. But, if these minions are gone and one of these minions is low, even if early Q's on these minions, you have an even minion count, right? If you've pushed these minions and killed one of these mage creeps quickly, then these melee minions are going to be over the health that Aurelia needs to stack up her passive. And when she goes in, you can just proc first strike with your auto attack, Q, then your passive will come back up, because that 15 or 16 second timer will be up at, like, Aurelia Q, auto attack, wait, auto attack now, right? Minute 54, you'd walk up to the wave in a minute 38, so that's 16 seconds have passed, and you'd have priority. Maybe not consistent priority, maybe the moment she gets level 2, she's able to fight you. But it doesn't matter because you're able to start putting pressure from the moment you start the game, right? And anytime you're putting pressure on your opponent, they can make mistakes. Okay. When your opponent has whatever their condition is to start a fight, never use your ability Scholastic. It is more important to be able to control the tempo of the lane and to not lose HP in a bad way than it is to get all the minions in the first wave. Because she's going to immediately... Okay, so this is a mistake by Aurelia. She should have immediately just triple Q'd the minions and Q'd you and just, like, destroyed you. She should have walked up and just forced a flash. This comes from a mixture of Aurelia being too scared and not having hands, and you not respecting Aurelia enough. If you have Q passive up, you can pretty easily trade back to her. You get the move speed from the passive, you get 100 more damage from the auto attack plus Q. Okay, again, and see, we're going to see it again here. I do not want this to be directed camera. Please stop. Alright. I believe it's right here. So again, you're going to Q to zone, but then... So you're autoing the minion here, and then you're walking down. If you auto Aurelia and walk back, she's forced to move further into your minions. You get the extra 100 gold, or the extra 100 damage, and because you get the this auto off earlier, let's see. And this is, I'm just gonna get a... Bro. Why does this do this? Alright, how do I turn... Yeah. Turn off directly camera? Yeah, there we go. Manual camera. Sweet. Coach, by the way. So, right now, you can auto. If you're just clicking her, you auto her right now. So, 208. So that's 1 second. But 1 second is 300 units of movement, right? 1 extra second of being here, 300 units of movement puts you from here to here, right? Now, it's not much, but this spot is a lot safer than this spot against Aurelia at this point in the game. And you know that the matchup's bad early. You have to play more around your cooldowns, and you have to be more willing to both manage your cooldowns and, like, move around them, and to commit them to your opponent. Now you're already down, so you take these 2 extra autos, right? If you passive proc her and run away, she's down, like, 100 health. You've missed a single minion, but you move faster, you may even dodge another auto attack, right? So Aurelia's going to hit level 2 here. We want to be playing outside Aurelia's E range. Aurelia's E range is a circle of about 650 units with a little bit of sniping. So you want to play outside of this outer circle, right? The inner circle is where you can be if you want to walk directly out of it. The outer circle is where you can be if you want to move sideways or try to outplay it. The problem is that you have to watch for her ability to dash to minions, right? So her circle isn't actually here from this point, right? Her circle is from here, so it's all the way up here. It's like right now, she can't engage on you if she auto-cues this minion. So let's see what she does. Yeah, so she didn't auto-cue the minion, and you're continuing to step up. So this is not, there's not respect for an opponent that's given you, or that's taken advantage, right? You're already down in HP. You have Corrupting Potion, which makes trades good, but the trades are only good if you have even or very close to even damage. You're gonna queue a minion. Right there. Step it back 15. That sword real quick. So Aurelia's level 2. She has her spike right now. There's that extended circle, right? If she didn't have a dash, this is where she could stun if she's right here, right? She's stepping back. But she does have a dash, so she moves her circle from here to here, and then has range to hit you, right? So you can't respect the place where she is, you have to respect the place where she can be. And sometimes that's going to involve the Aurelia player being bad and not being able to take advantage of that. But it's a weak lane for you. You are going to be soft countered. You have to be willing to give the respect, right? You have to be willing to play all the way back here instead of up here, right? Because my guess is you take a lot of extra damage here. Okay, well, she missed, and she canceled an extra auto attack. But the trade's still not good, right? Even with the first strike proc, trade's not good. You can tell the trade's not good. Lose a lot more HP than she does. You're now getting slow pushed in. Okay. So, straight up, this is almost instantly. This is a thing that I really like to talk to GPs about, which is like level 2, 3, 4 barrel usage. If you are losing, and your minions are gone, do not ever put this barrel down. It is vitally important that you have access to your barrels, because if your opponent decides to take an aggressive dive, and you don't have the ability to zone them off with barrels, or threaten that they kill trade under a tower and you walk back and like start to scale, if you don't have the threat of the barrels, your opponent is able to play completely freely. And you need 2 barrels at minimum to actually threaten someone. Gangplank's barrels have an 18-second recharge, and they sit for 25 seconds. So if you put a barrel down, the moment you get them, all you're doing is covering where you are for 25 seconds, right? Or wherever the barrel is for 25 seconds, I'm sorry. If instead of putting a barrel there, you put a barrel here, right on top of you, and then when she queues in, so she's going to auto attack right here, so that's puts you down 150 HP. If you queue the barrel and auto her, that is 88 damage from the queue, 75 additional damage, your auto attack damage is 78, and your passive proc damage of 81, and you get move speed. That's another even trade, right? So you're missing out on a lot of even trades by not taking proper advantage of counter offensive play, and you're missing out on a lot of damage by not taking advantage of the fact that your character can react very well with this passive, right? You have to manage your passive, and you have to be aware of when those spikes exist, so that you can like properly trade around. Oh, no. Interesting. Hold up, scribble from earlier. So now we're gonna set up a barrel. Very important, very specifically, for you to not set up this barrel in attack range, or to not set up this barrel outside of attack range. If you're putting yourself in danger to walk up and use the barrel, you shouldn't be putting it down. Your second barrel, your barrels have a very large circle, right? Like, you can hit Irelia. You know, like, sorry, I put that line down wrong, but you can hit Irelia pretty much anywhere in the lane right now, right? Like, this whole area is something you can threaten with this barrel here. You push it back a little bit, then maybe the circle's like, the original barrel is right there in the center, and you can hit right here, right? I don't know. Circles don't matter because the exact range doesn't matter. The point is that you can put the barrels farther back and still pressure. You can even put the barrels farther back and still last hit. Your barrel could be right here, and you could very easily connect on all of these minions, right? So, place your barrels safer, closer to you. And another thing that barrel placement right next to you does is at the beginning of the game, it is very hard to proc barrels consistently, partially because their tick down time is 4 seconds, right? If you put down a barrel and immediately auto it, your attack timer is 0.67, which means that you auto attack once every 1.33 seconds. If you put down a barrel and auto it and stall for just a moment, your auto attack timer will be pretty easy to connect about as the barrel blows up, or is ready to blow up, which means that this is basically an easy mode way to put down a defensive barrel. And again, you need that, right? You need that against Aurelia. So you get to connect a barrel here, but now you have no threat, right? She saw the barrels go down here, right here. I don't know. I actually don't 100% remember if y'all can see my cursor, but she saw the barrels go down right here. And then she saw you use the second barrel for her ass. Second barrel connected and got 200 damage, right? And it got some gold, right? Plus, I don't know, 60. Didn't break the wave state. But now Aurelia's going to get a trade. So what is Aurelia going to get? Aurelia's going to EQ auto. Aurelia gets flash and a reset off you using those barrels. And obviously, it doesn't actually matter. There's no, like, math comparison here. A flash and a reset is worth more than 200 damage, right? We're gonna last hit the minions here. I don't know if you have a barrel. Okay. Talking about last hitting. Under turret. And this is, you know, a little bit nitpicky because it's not as important. Also, do you have Ignite here? Hold on, I just realized. This is more awareness of that passive damage. So Aurelia can only do so much burst damage, right? She has the Ignite. You don't have barrels yet, or you don't have oranges yet, but she does have to use her second Q to kill you here, which means she dies. Now trading isn't worth it, but if you have passive and you're able to connect to passive auto, she dies, right? But you used your passive earlier, and I believe you used it to get a last hit. Or did you use it in the trade? Yeah, so you used it for a last hit here. And this is, it's the exact same thing. Don't use a cooldown that is vitally important to a trade that's about to happen to maybe get a minion, right? Like, this auto attack doesn't do anything except kind of prepare a minion for going out of the turret. And if she doesn't get a good trade on you here, you still have the ability to put a barrel down, sit right inside turret range, and get the melee creeps, right? You can stall the minions a little. And instead, you're going to take a massive amount of damage and lose your flash. And now, if you mess up again, you're probably dead in lane anytime from level 4 to, like, level 7, when you start to, like, get your peel mechanics and your rank 2 barrels. Yeah, hitting that minion is fine. Keep in mind that if you need to auto a minion this early in the game, then that almost guaranteed means that you could have waited one hit and you could have gone to prep something else. Very close. I actually don't remember if these minions will die to a tower shot. I think they will, but you don't need to check the exact numerical number. What you can do here, though, is put a barrel down, auto each of these backline minions once, and then auto Q. And then barrel down, auto Q it to pop. I believe that kills these minions at this point in the game, though maybe I'm used to playing with minion dematerializer. Anyway, watching for extra autos behind the tower and using those extra autos to pick up a couple extra CS. Also right there, and these are all little efficiencies you absolutely don't have to think about. So like, yeah, missing an auto, kind of push. Miss that minion because we're pushing an auto. If you auto this minion right here and wait to queue the second minion, right, then your auto attack timer will be back up in time to kill whichever minion you need to. You can queue auto to secure a minion, your burn can get this mage creep back here, or you can queue auto. And you lose this one in the chart. And it doesn't matter much, but it's one of those things you can think about. So Aurelia stays, which is really, 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 really bad. This is terrible. She should not be here. She can, however, still kill you if your passive's down. It's very, very scary. Yeah, she just dies instantly. Yeah, okay. This was miserably bad. Cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at where the lane is right. Aurelia has 15 CS. Did she get the cannon? Does she have more than 400 gold? She does. She has 500 gold. So Aurelia can go back and buy a lane dominance item. She can buy Doran's Blade. She can buy Cole, and she'll be ahead of you 180 gold. She's not going to be struggling for fight power. She's Aurelia in your gangplank. She could buy a Ruby Crystal, and it could be 5 times harder to gank her. She could buy a Longsword towards Vampiric Scepter. And 10 AD, that's like maybe 40 or 50 more damage towards pushing your lethal, right? So you're stuck lasting after turret. You don't have TP. you're low health, you're low mana, you don't know where Lee Sin is. In most cases, this is a lane loss, right? And it's not a huge lane loss, but you're against Irelia as GP, you're counterpicked. You can't set yourself up for these huge lane losses. Even just taking the flip trades that you were taking without being completely aware of your passive and completely aware of your barrels, is game losing in a matchup like this. However, at lethal HP, with no way to stop herself from dying to Kindred the moment she shows up, Irelia stays. This 100% saves your lane. What should happen is she should be in base right now, and then in 30 seconds, she should be back in lane. So let's see where the lane is at 343. Just out of curiosity, like, where are the minions, right? The minions are right here. So she can just sit here, catch this entire wave, without the kill XP, but also without Kindred splitting a little bit. You'll be level 4 anyway. You'll back by Sheen. You don't get this kill gold, but you don't get the first strike gold, but that's fine, right? You still backing buying a Sheen, maybe a Sheen and a control ward. But you have to come back to an Irelia with an XP lead. Because she should be catching this entire wave, and she shouldn't have died and lost the melee creeps in the prior wave. And Irelia with an XP lead means she can zone you off minions at 5, she can zone you off minions super hard at 6, and all your prio is gone. The prio that you're looking for this aggressive jungle matchup here is gone, right? I'm watching this, and then I'm going to comment on it. But I want to watch the whole play first. Okay, so Syndra slowly picks up the Zed. Irelia flashes, gets a stun. And Lee Sin lives with about 1 HP? Maybe 2 HP. Okay. So we can talk about macro decisions first, then we'll talk about micro. Alright. Right now, we see the Kindred's on Lee Sin. Right, we have vision of both. Let me go ahead and turn the fog order red, so we're working with vision that we would have in game, right? Obviously, we're able to move the camera. So, regardless of whether you need to push this wave or not, you should be thinking about what's going to happen next, and not just what you can see, right? Kindred wants to walk to this crab. It is marked, and that is what Kindred does. She walks to her marks, and she takes them. Everything else in the game, to some degree, has to move around that. Because if she gets those marks, she scales really, really hard, and even in solo queue, where your teammates are probably, maybe, really bad, I mean, Kindred getting an insane amount of bonus gold, essentially, from just clearing 4 specific camps is worth a lot, and it could be arguably worth a lot more than some minions. I'm not saying you should move right now, you do need to push this in. But, at this point, you see Kindred very clearly moving towards the mark. We see, apparently, a very low health Zed over here. That's Ignite wearing off. Oh, no, this is our Zed. I'm sorry. Yeah. So we know that we have no prio mid. We know that we have prio top, because Irelia doesn't have TP. She doesn't have a way back. She just died, right? And we know, for an absolute fact, that not only is Kindred going to walk to this mark, but we know that Lee Sin went from bot to top, and that he wants to fight. Easily Sin. Lee Sin wants to fight, right? He has a huge amount of base damage, a lot of mobility, and he struggles in the late game. So this all telegraphs a fight, and all of this telegraphs that no matter what level Lee Sin is, or how much farm he's gotten, no matter where else he's shown, and we don't care about that, we haven't been talking about jungle tracking at all because he hasn't been in our lane and we have no reason to expect him to be. He's going to be here. We don't know where he's going to be. He could be right here. He could be right here. He could be right here. Right? Doesn't matter. He's going to show up and he's going to fight Kindred. And Kindred is going to fight him. Kindred wants the mark. Kindred is probably willing to die for the mark. But Kindred is also a good early game champion. So, the gold value of being at a fight is very esoteric. It's hard to define. But, right now, you do have the ability to fight. You have 400 HP. Can I close this? There we go. Yeah, so you have TP up to get back to stuff. You have 400 HP. And Lee Sin is going to queue on the Kindred. You know this because you're watching Kindred move first. You know that Lee Sin is looking for a fight. He's probably looking very specifically to contest the mark. And you know the enemy center is mid-priority, so Lee Sin's confident. Right? So you have 2 options. You can walk down, and you have 400 health. You can fight. Put up a barrel, right? Ignore these last minions. And go force fight. Try to get an advantage that way. But you're choosing not to do that, and you're probably choosing not to do that because this fight seems greedy. You don't know this for sure, but there's a very good chance that Kindred's a level down because she's level 3 at the end of the 3-minute 30 jungle clear mark. You know that there's no prio mid. And you know that you need to go base, and you'd really like to save your TP in a bad matchup. If you are going to not go for a play, back ping your team. Oh, like, communicate to them with pings that you are not there. I believe... shit. I believe you don't ping at all here. Yeah, so we ping on the way, because we're committing to the play. We're committing after the play's been, like, established, right? Your barrel went here, as Lee Sin went forward. So, let's look at this. Lee Sin has walked from here to here, and then flashed, right? Lee Sin has covered this much distance. It's a little more than an Ezreal Q, and then the flash distance. So, an Ezreal Q is 1,050. This is, you know, maybe 1,200 distance? Why is it so big? Stop. How do I make it smaller? Oh god. Oh, here we go. So, Lee Sin's covered maybe 3 seconds of distance. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. And we're right here, 3 seconds in, right? We're just about to set up a barrel. So what if you move 3 seconds earlier? What happens? Let's watch when you move out of lane. So we've got 2 range creeps. There's a very small amount of XP and 28 gold. The lane's still going to push. It may not crash perfectly if you leave it, but it's still going to push if you leave these creeps. 3 seconds earlier, that's 3 seconds of movement speed. So we'll go 1, 300 units, 2, 300 units, 3, 300 units. You can put the barrel down right here on 2 seconds. Auto it, right? And then minus 2 seconds. That means that at 356, you could have a 1 health barrel. Or 357, sorry, because it would take 1 extra second for this cooldown to take down a second time. So, you could have a 1 health barrel. Pushing the wave is fine, but I think it means you have 2 barrels here. You have 1 barrel here. Okay. So, I would say this is another reason to just backping completely. Timey? You asked. Fuck you. This would be a reason to backping your team here, but we're gonna get a little lucky, to be completely honest. Kindred is kind of griefing. He's trying to kite him out, and then Lee gets lucky. So you walk up and scare him off. But now, really need to not chase this. I'm just gonna say you really need to not chase this. Often in coaching and VOD review, I'll talk about like options for something to be good or bad, but you should not chase this. There are a couple reasons. Obviously, you're low on resources. You need to be back in lane. You don't want to be stressing if you're not close to 100% guaranteed you can pick up a kill. But there are 2 very specific reasons that you don't want to chase this far in this scenario. The first one is that Lee Sin can kind of kill either of you. Lee Sin's base damage is incredibly high. He currently, with his Q, can do up to 300 damage. His E does 115, and he has 40% bonus attack speed. Right? If he hits the Q on Kindred, Kindred dies. He can ward hop out, or he can stand there and hit you, and maybe he walks away. Maybe Syndra shows up. All we know is that Syndra's here, and we only know that because Zed walked up, warded this, and died, right? What if Zed doesn't walk up? I know you're not paying attention to that because you're chasing. If Syndra walks up and you're over-chasing, you die, right? And you're over-chasing because you didn't have the ability to set up on Lee Sin. Right, so we're going to turn, and then Irelia is going to show up. And all of a sudden, the game has just gotten a lot harder because Irelia picked up kills. And this is the second and bigger reason. You need to keep in mind when your opponent is going to come back after dying. So we're going to look at this real quick. So, Irelia respawned a couple seconds ago. 342, 343. Digi, this is the GP's VOD. This is a friend of mine. His name is Zane. He can't watch the stream right now, but, I mean, you know, I get a Twitch VOD of it, so I can save it. We're going to be watching, so Zane is Gold 2, has been Plat 4, so somewhere in there. He's a jungle main, so he's kind of pivoting to top, so I'd say Gold 2 is probably pretty accurate. But I am going to actually watch my A-Team mid laners VODs in, like, an hour. So if you're kind of curious to see something, like, a little more, in depth, because frankly I'm better at mid than I am at top. I'm going to be doing that, I don't know, whenever I finish up with this one. And I want to say that Zane talked about mostly wanting to go over the early game, so I'm not going to be on this for another, like, hour and a half. I think I've been on this for 3 minutes or so. So, yeah, we can go back and continue to look at this. And I lost my train of thought. God damn it. Also, hi Didge. Thanks for tuning in. How you doing? That's right. We were looking at Aurelia. So, let's see when exactly Aurelia respawns. 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. 344, 345. Yeah, keeping track of Aurelia. So, this walk from the 105 spawn to the 138 crash is 33 seconds for the minions. Minions have 325 move speed. You have 345, Aurelia probably has 335. So you can call this about 33 seconds. Home guards are going to quote-unquote double your move speed for 8 seconds, give or take, a little less, a little more. So 33 minus 8? Yeah. Math's a little off, but you want to ballpark about 25 seconds to make it to top lane, right? Now, this area in the center right here that you and Kindred are fighting in, why is the pin tool like this, is a little bit closer to top lane, right? So from all the way up here, all the way down here, this is a pretty big range. You don't have to really be able to quantify it because we're going to watch you move across this range right now, right? We don't even have to do math. We don't have to do anything like that. We just count the seconds that it takes you to move from here to there. So from 355, and Kindred moves forward about where you would be if you hadn't stepped back. So 355 to go from here to here. 355 to 402. So that's 7 seconds off. And 21 seconds, or 25 seconds for Aurelia's respawn plus home guards. 25 minus 7. We're looking at Aurelia coming back as early as 18 seconds after she respawns, or 25 seconds after she died. She died at 345. She's probably going to be here soon. And you should be aware of this. You don't have to do any of that exact tracking, but you should know that if you're going to chase into the enemy jungle, top laner should be there between 20 and 25 seconds after you start the chase, or after they respawn. If you're just talking about getting the wave state in, or getting the wave pushed in, you're looking at, like, setting up a reset, you should know it's about 30 seconds. 25 to 30 seconds. Depends on how much time they want to spend in base. Whether they buy boots, what champion they're playing, that kind of thing. And give yourself a bit of cushion. Give yourself a couple seconds. Step back, play safer, recall. Be somewhere where a full health champion can immediately just kill you, right? You can save yourself a lot of grief here by just backing. And this is the same thing that Aurelia got punished for earlier. So we've seen all this. Also, I've been commenting on micro, but it's mostly to do with micro in relation to macro, right? Your barrel placement in relation to what you want to do with the wave. What I want to emphasize is that I'm not, like, I don't care about that, right? That doesn't matter. Whatever. You're going to miss barrels. Doesn't mean a damn thing. That's not what we want to talk about. Right. So we're going to set up a defensive barrel here. Defensive barrel's good. This allows you to step up. Maybe you can contest a CS. If you're scared this cannon goes down because of some weird minion AI, you can do that. If Aurelia slow pushes and you're going to lose some creeps, you can do that. But this is that same thing we were talking about earlier, right? Aurelia's got the zone where she can Q onto you. Somewhere over here. Somewhere over here. But her spot's not right here, right? Her spot's right here. So her zone is actually closer there. This is a huge line, but you have to respect it. And the moment these minions get low, then that zone increases drastically, right? So again, this is respecting a champion that can just beat you in a 1v1. Even with really good barrel placement. You don't have Ignite. There's only so much you can do, right? By the same token, and I mentioned this, right? You set up a safety barrel. This is good. This allows you to walk up and contest individual CS you need to contest. But you got greedy probably for poke. This is probably first strike poke. And, you know, we missed the cannon as a result of the poke, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is that now Aurelia is setting up the bounce, right? This minion is getting focused, she's going to hit this minion. You don't have to exactly quantify the time, but pretty soon she is going to have that line, right? Her spot is going to be right here very soon, which means that there is not safe. At level 5, which Irelia is vaguely close to, you should be aware of this, Irelia can charge a W on the backline, and then immediately Q. So, and this is information that you won't always even get to use in a matchup, but vaguely relevant. If Irelia had if Irelia had W level 1, Q level 3, and she was level 5, she could wait here for a second and then go all the way over here, right? So that increases her effective range to... it increases her effective range to here. And as broken as that sounds, that is what Irelia does. This is the biggest reason that GP loses to Irelia in most cases. Additionally, she has red buff. Like, you have to respect champions with red buff early in. I don't have to explain that to you. You already know. So we're going to get punished for that. We're going to throw down the attack, but we don't have the safety barrel because you got greedy for poke. That's going to make it a lot worse, right? If you can 50-50 the barrel and hit it, she gets slowed. She probably gets 1 or 2 fewer auto attacks. Okay, she's going to walk up, make a big mistake on the barrel. You're going to punish exactly how you should, which is just Q the barrel and do nothing else. Okay. So again, we're going to get greedy for wave state here. This is going to work out, but we don't care about whether a play works or not. We care about the reasoning behind the play. So we have just seen that you just lost an all-in very, very hard. You had your passive, you didn't have barrels, but you had your passive, and Irelia beat you by about 400 health. If she gets that all-in again, she kills you, probably. You can commit, 1 extra auto, flash, whatever. She doesn't have flash, she doesn't have ult yet, but the ability to die is now present, right? You've seen her lethal range. This should not happen. You should not greed or putting this barrel down and queuing the minions. Popping all the minions for Q farm. You should greed for Q farm early as opposed to normal attack farm, but you don't have to do it this way. What you can do is put a barrel down, and then just queue the minions individually. You have 420 mana, 1 corrupting potion stack, and then another one ticking down. So you have like 550 mana plus whatever you regen, right? 550 mana is 11 more Qs, or it's more than that actually. They reduce GP's Q mana cost because, 14 Qs. At least, and a W from the regen, right? You're only probably going to use 1 or 2 Ws. I mean, that's 70 more gold, 84 more silver serpents. You're looking at a very large gold gain, but if you're just last hitting with your Q and you're not auto-attacking, you're not pushing, not only are you keeping your passive up for any time Irelia gets greedy, but you're also keeping the wave state good. And you're not losing any Q farm. And you're keeping a barrel, right? However, Irelia walks up and flips a barrel that she really does not need to flip. This is very stupid. And you punish it correctly. It looks like you punish it correctly. She dashes in like an idiot, and you're like, oh yeah, free kill. Yeah, there's nothing she can do about that. Something relevant here, not the fight itself, but you do have not an opportunity for your minions to freeze, but the wave is going to be stuck here for a little bit. You've got 1 less melee creep, and then 2 little range creeps that are going to do a bit of extra damage. If you walk right into the bush and recall, you're going to have the ability for these minions to set up slow push. The next wave coming is the cannon wave, which means that in general, the minion waves are going to take a little bit longer to have that impact of moving even further in the lane for whoever has like the beneficial wave state. But it also means that the wave state benefit is going to be greater because siege minions make it easier to fight, make it easier to get prio, all that good stuff, right? And this is something I've already mentioned like twice, but I think with that, I just want to emphasize it. You should definitely look to recall more. And it sounds a little weird because, it feels like you missed this cannon minion, but you don't miss the cannon minion if you don't push. Why did my fog war go to blue? So, let's see. What are we moving for? And I'm going to go ahead and call this at 8 minutes, because again, we were talking about early lane. Get my damn throat a break before I start going over synth stuff. Okay, so we're moving because we see a very low Lee Sin. Is that what we see? Okay, yeah. So Zed tried to kill Lee and then had to jump out. Kendra tried to kill Lee, got told to fuck off. Syndra's really looking to contest here, so you're looking to go and pick up the Lee Sin. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. It's a really good reason to not back, except there's no shot you catch him. There's no shot you catch him. excuse me, he went out of vision a moment ago. And he is going to walk this way, right? A 100 health Lee Sin that sees you roam off the minions is not going to go that way. He will walk into his jungle, and then he'll either take wolves or he'll recall. So you have two options here, right? The first one is ulti here instantly. Did you ulti? No, so you didn't ulti. Keep in mind that your ult does pretty reasonable base damage, and you have access to first strike. So technically, you have 120 magic damage, and then 12 tier damage. I mean, Lee Sin was like 50 HP. So when you hit 6, and right when you hit 6 is the best time because the enemy team still isn't aware of it, take the time to look for those free ulti kills. Really to note, you absolutely can just like toss your ulti on something that might look like it's a fight. You might just win the game off it. I've definitely picked up 2 or 3 treasure hunter stacks and a kill from an ulti that should not have happened. And so now we're stuck back top lane, but something much worse than what was happening last time is happening now, right? Irelia is in a great state to contest your barrels because she has the extra attack speed and range from her passive being fully stacked. She's got more minions to bounce around on because she can just W and get them ready through the health threshold that we talked about a bit ago. Her zone is now a huge circle around these minions, right? This whole thing is death. And even if you know that you're ahead of her in CS, you don't know exactly when she's 6. So if instead of roaming here, let's look at what happens if you shove this wave and then immediately reset. So this is going to continue. This is not going to crash. So you're taking this roam, assuming that this is going to crash. We've already talked about why you can't kill Lee Sin here. But you probably should crash this even if you can kill Lee Sin. Or even if you think you can kill Lee Sin. There's always the flip. There's always that Lee has a read on you. There's always that he fucking like walks up into your topside jungle. It's solo queue. Shit happens. And guaranteed kills aren't guaranteed kills until you get the kill, right? But what happens here is you are going to lose out on a ton of potential advantage. These minions are going to be stuck here. And then Irelia is going to be able to show up. We already know how bad the matchup is, which means that Irelia is going to be able to get a freeze. You're also losing out on your level advantage, and you're losing out on, I believe, do you have red buff from killing her? Why was I thinking you had red buff? No, you don't have red buff. But what you do have is a level advantage, and the level advantage is the difference between level 5 and level 6. That is a massive spike, right? You have more stats, but you also have an incredible power in your ulti, and Irelia doesn't actually have a way out of your ult. All she can do is move around within the ulti, right? But if you drop the ult right on the center of these minions when she starts fighting, she can't do anything to get out. She's just going to be forced to take the ulti, or overcommit to the fight, or both. And typically, overcommitting to a fight inside GP's ult is death. 640 base damage right now. But we left. And we didn't just leave the wave. We left the wave in a bad state for about 30 seconds. So let's take theory and just your movement. We're not going to talk about anyone else's. We're going to see what happens if you recall. If you kill the wave and recall, right? So we have 1 additional barrel. So we put the barrel down. Sheen proc this minion. Attack this minion again. Maybe prep these. Sheen proc, reset, right? So that's going to take barrel down, auto, Q, maybe an auto attack. So 5 seconds. And then we'll start the reset at 5:52. So 5:52 we reset, which means we're home at 6. So we immediately start walking at 6, and as we've been talking about, it takes about 33 seconds to get from here all the way over to here, right? That massive area, 33 seconds of push. Halfway into those 33 seconds, Irelia has established a freeze. Or at least something that resembles a freeze. She hasn't demonstrated that she will freeze it yet, but your freeze is threatened, and we already know why that's a problem. We know that she can all in you. If you push this wave in, when Irelia gets here, you kill the minions, and we just went over this. You're theoretically able to kill the minions at 5:52, but you can do it earlier if you know you're pushing, right? Because the time we get off the minions is... See, I'm going to time this just to make sure. Yeah, so we stop DPSing at 5:45, which means we can probably kill these minions even earlier than that. If these minions are dead by 5:50 and they start walking, we've got 1,500 distance, right? Or we've got 300 distance per second. We get off these minions before 550. And Irelia is right here at 556. That means she was down here at 553, which means she was in the range of the minions at 553. 5 seconds to push. 1,500 units means that these minions are already 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Doesn't matter. The exactities they don't matter. The point is that you're able to push this in to at least mitigate some of that pressure from the freeze. But you're not able to do that because you went for a kill that wasn't guaranteed. And you weren't able to do that because you're missing map artists, right? So this is the kind of idea of a snowball of things. And this is just what happens in League. And the snowball of things happens because you don't know how to capitalize properly on what Irelia has given you, which is a free back, right? A good shove and a free back. So we're going to commit 2 barrels here, and we're going to step up. You're level 5 and you have red buff. You have your passive ready. You have Sheen. You feel confident. But at this point, Irelia is almost 6. We know Irelia is almost 6. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to lose the barrel flip. Get the passive proc. She's going to severely mess up, right? And again, this is just another case of this Irelia not having the mechanical skill to play the champion. But you've seen at this point the points where the errors could have cost you. She's going to take another Q in return for her W, which doesn't do anything except lower her cooldown. So we have a relatively good awareness here to pick up an ulti. Or pick up a kill with your ulti, sorry. My voice is starting to go a little bit. And I'm hoping that now you know you need to reset. You are sitting on, I assume, maybe Essence Reader, something close? Yeah, you're sitting on 1600 gold. That's a pretty big spike. And as a general rule, in solo queue, if you have the ability to reset for maybe like a 3 to 5 minion like cost, and that's all it's going to give you, and you know you won't lose anything else, you should probably take that reset, because being stronger for the shitfest that will inevitably occur is almost always better. Shit, you right. So we're going to stay in pressure. Okay. And, I mean, you're aware of what this is, Zane, but the problem here is very simple. We're not understanding GP's damage, right? And that's only something you're going to have fixed with practice. But there is another issue here, which is that you have 0 barrels. And you have 0 barrels because you've been playing for greedy barrel management. Hail Hydrate. Yo, what's up, Kate? This round of view is about to end, and I'm going to give my throat a brief break and just kind of chill. And then I'm going to move on to Synth's. Plan was to start his at like 6:30ish, because that's when he said he was going to get home. So, yeah, if you have your 2 barrels here that you used about 15-20 seconds ago, I think. Yeah, so we set one up here, but you already know that between red buff, Sheen, and the fact that she's really low, she's not actually going to step here. You can set the barrel up, and this is, again, this is the same thing, literally just on the other side of your attack range, right? Right here. But again, this is the same thing as with Irelia. Oh shit. God damn it. The barrel, instead of being here, being right here, if the barrel circle is right here, right? How do I change the color? Can I not change the color? No, go away. Stop. I don't want to click on that. And change the color. Yeah, okay. So, this is the range that you can change, right? So if the first circle is right there, and the second circle is right... Fucker. My screen moved. Brother. This shit is so hard to control. Anyway. I don't have to fully illustrate this for you to get the point. These are your circles. Whatever. Doesn't matter exactly how close they are. But if your circles move up here... Yeah, the range is way bigger. You can reach her from here very comfortably, and she can't do anything about it except move even farther back. Slept on the floor with a kitten and I'm sore. Aww. The kitten is adorable. I loved the pictures you posted. Can I ask why the floor? Or is that just, you know, it just happened? We're kind of hitting the point where the lane's over. I think we'll call it after this. But yeah, the last thing is, once you get that priority, once you have the ability to like scare the shit out of the enemy laner, put your barrels, instead of like near you or directly in front of you, or directly behind you, sorry, as a retreat option. Put them in front of you to increase the like zone in which you can hit barrels. Additional thing here, and this is something you may or may not be thinking about. So your barrel range is pretty long, and you're aware of that, right? But you definitely shouldn't get used to putting the barrel directly on Aurelia, right? And again, you know, I'm going to draw my inaccurate circles. Yeah, something like that, right? Whatever. Doesn't matter. She can't walk very far, right? In the, I don't know, quarter of a second it's going to take you to have those barrels connect. She can walk in this very small circle, right? Which means that the absolute furthest you need to have the barrel connect is right about where you've put this barrel. If you set up the barrel to be right here, and then the second one to be, you know, right here or something, it makes it a lot harder for her to step around the explosion. And that's just something to think about. Keeping in mind that you don't have to have the barrel directly on someone to make it almost impossible to dodge, right? There's a very good chance that if you're setting up in the way that I'm talking about, where you're setting up to cover the dash in and where she is at the time, that you're able to kill her. Of course, you kill her here. And again, this is another big mistake from Aurelia. It's a whole bunch of small mistakes that are going to reward you. Bringing at these, something I would really like for people to keep in mind is that the range creeps are worth very, very little golden XP. I think they're getting close to half a melee creep. Right now they're two-thirds of a melee creep in golden. I think about half of one in EXP. Definitely don't feel forced to get all of the range creeps when you're pushing. For a reset, right? When you're pushing Belief. You can even just let your minions go range creeps a lot of the time. I mentioned that when you were taking the roam at level 4. But additionally, barrel management. If you have a barrel up here, this pushes in much faster, right? It pushes in one auto attack on the healthiest mage or melee creep, and then Q. Barrel's gone, boom. 8/8/10, you start your reset. So you're in base about 8 seconds sooner, which means you're in lane about 8 seconds sooner, right? One of those very minor things, but all of this stuff collectively, you know, could mean at this point that you're in lane for 40 more seconds, or you're in doing something very relevant with your time for 40 more seconds. At this point, I'm going to call the early game. You have a very significant gold lead on the Aurelia. You know, you've quote-unquote won. Your jungler's lost. And now we can start to go over the individual points and how to, like, sum up the session. Because I talked a lot, and there's no conversation happening, so a lot of it probably just right in one ear and out the other. So, TL:DR, semicolon DR. Level 1. Hit minions to take priority. Be aware of the opponent's window of opportunity. 3 low HP melee creeps. And prevent it. In this case, pushing when she allows you to push. Thanks to invade. Ward level 1. If your opponents invade bot side. Set up first barrels as safety barrels. Auto once, save Q for pop on command. Don't try to chain barrels early or harass a bad matchup, less you'll be under turret soon, because you need them to not die. You need them to not die. Save your barrels, be a little more conscious of them, put them back closer to you, because your goal is not to kill Aurelia 4 times. It's good that you did that. You certainly played better than this Aurelia. But your goal is not to kill her 4 times, your goal is not to die. And if you're playing against an Aurelia who is equal skill level to you, This is not going to happen. She's going to beat the shit out of you every time you walk up. Ping to communicate with your jungler. Push more aggressively / give last melee or give last ranged creeps. Take better timings. Track when your opposing will get back your death. Parentheses, about 25 seconds. And make sure the wave is where you want it. Slow push, crashed, freeze, for you base. Take bases when you crash waves. Let's see, what else? I think. Don't move for non-guaranteed kills. Doubly important if you give up wave state. Gave Aurelia her last chance to win the lane. Let's see. And then probably last, no matter what you're doing in lane, be, at least relatively conservative with your barrels, so you can force lethal pushes for easily under on turret. See 8-minute fight. General stuff. Attack speed, shard, big. Dobbies if you lose this matchup. Be willing to go items that are not explicitly one-shot items. Same idea. Take grasp in bad matchups where opponent is mobile / aggressive / good at contesting barrels. Irie, Theo, etc. Okay. Probably some other stuff I could think of. Buy pink every back if you're winning to cover push. Aggro place. Okay. Go ahead and send that over to Mr. Zane. And we're chilling. We're good for a bit. Well, I can read chat, catch up, see how everyone's doing. What's popping, guys? We'll save this as Zane notes. I don't know if anyone still has the stream up where they can hear it, but if you do, how's it hanging? He's poing. It'd be a good thing to do in between these VOD review sessions if I want to take a little bit more time. Burger! Bro, I would fight for burger. I will cry for burger. Want burger. Oh, man. Turns out talking incredibly consistently, quickly, clearly, and actively for about 45-50 minutes actually fucks with your throat. Let me actually see real quick. Well, okay. First, just while I'm tabbing between all these windows and stuff, I think I can switch this here, and somewhere in here it should... There we go. Alright. I'm gonna play one game of Battlegrounds. Take a bit of a breather. Oh shit, that's right. Wow, I forgot a whole number of small things about the... I need to take these notes, like, as I play through. B... E... Aware. Opponent. Gauge range. Exclamation mark. Aurelia's engage range E. It's effectively 600 or just over EQ, but he can also I don't think Artress. He's probably really good here. Extend. Yo, Synth. Yo, what's good? So I just finished. I had another friend whose VOD I wanted to review. And I talked a lot, and my throat's a little sore. So, play some Battlegrounds, chill for about 20 minutes or so, give my throat a break, hydrate, and then I'll be doing your VOD as soon as I'm done. I made sure I still have it saved and downloaded. So, these all suck butts, and I'm sad. Yeah, you didn't miss anything. Just me nitpicking plot GP for an hour. How long have I been live? Can I see how long I've been live on OBS? I feel like that should be, like, a very visible thing. But
have a good battle, friend.
I see it on Stream Manager, I'm sure. Go ahead and close down this replay. It didn't buy... Oh, he's AFK! I'm so good at the game! Holy shit. Goated.
Nice work. Keep up the pressure.
Wanna play Tempo? How many tokens are in? Elemental, Alleycat, Dex Lobby? Sure. You find review my GP, the problems make your first story harsh. So, fun thing. I've actually found that review is like slightly easier to do and like takes less time for lower MMRs because the mistakes that you're talking about are like more simple and straightforward.
I think you can win this thing.
And it's no shots to people who are in silver. It's just you have more fundamental stuff to work on, right? So good hits, Bogger. You've been live for 1:13:10. Okay, I'm pretty sure I did the VOD review for about an hour of that. And hey, that's a good way to explain to people how much can actually go into League of Legends. Oh my god. Fuck is this, man? Did I just swap level? Like, oh god. Gambler's on 2, which is really good for Kurtrus. I think I need to level.
Great. I can bring in more powerful minions now.
Let's take the refreshing. Can I trigger Kurtrus? So, sell puts me at 8. Buy, play, sell, buy. Puts me up net 1 gold instead of net 2. Do I get to replace to a party? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, let's do that. Notes? Aurelia. Yeah, I mean, not too many of the notes are very specific to Aurelia, but...
Welcome back. How's it going out there?
Okay. It's probably griefing, but
It's not the strong,
it's fine.
but
I had
it'll
fun.
fight hard.
I mean, actually, this is actually not like a low amount of stats. Okay, I'm reading chat now. Everyone is no human confirmed. Oh shit, you played ranked with Alex? Or did you just both play ranked, like, individually? Ugh. Froge. It's on accident? Okay. How do you play ranked with somebody on accident? Did you queue with him? Like, queue into him? Sorry, on like a smurf? I don't even remember this shit.
Win this thing.
Damn. Can I have a tie, please? I started with 49 armor and I'll be losing everything. Okay! My opponent is more skilled at the game. Unlucky. Unlucky. My stream show the overlay? It does, nice. Okay. Wait. Bo.
I've got some fresh recruits for you.
That funnel's good.
It's good to
Sorless.
get some minions in play.
Ooh. Hey, see.
I didn't like that one either.
I mean, if I can finish my quest right now, that's not bad, actually. Wow. Very lucky. Oh, Trace. Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I remember Trace typing something about wanting to play. Or, y'all talking, so. Makes sense to me. So it's very simple. I kind of just kill time in between every turn. We're vibing.
Have a good battle, friend.
Nice to relax though. How's everyone's day? Honestly, I'm genuinely curious. Like, what's popping? What's good in the hood? You know. I got a tavern here. 100% I have to tavern. Oh my god, never mind. Actually, do I even play that? But sell, buy, tavern? That seems kind of ass. I just want to buy the pair. Select his... but... I don't know. Ideally, I find, like, a free-dealing gambler, and I can, swap out the alley cat for a gambler. Next turn, I can, just complete the quest in, one turn. It's not quite impossible to do on 3, like, before 10, but you kind of have to grief. I would definitely like to not grief. I'd like to play to win. So I have been told, Synth. So I have been told. That's how my day is. You've just been burning through, like, homework and projects and shit. He did some fucking... Oh.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
Party looks just gonna be huge. 9-6 party. I haven't, like, triggered any buffs on it. Oh my god, I don't lose HP. Woo! Feels good, man. Been losing 1% combats all week.
Your minions really pulled their weight.
Let's see if I see something good. Okay.
Great. Let's get some better minions in here.
Ask for something good. I am going to go to the bathroom. An entire 3-hour class being taught how to use the tools? Oh, God. Sounds like a good fucking time. Hey. Easy. Getting close. Which engineering class is that? Circuits? Is that like, what, computer engineering or whatever it's called? We back once a motherfucking game. You already know. What the fuck, go. Sir, can I have your free dealing gambler? I want your free dealing gambler. This is okay, electrical engineering. Is that your specific major, or is that just one of the engineering courses you're taking for your degree? Yeah, let's go up. 6.
I didn't like that one either. Here's a goal
Right.
for the trouble.
Something good, baby. There it is. Something good. Pretty good card. Okay, that's your major. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I win, but like, feeling pretty good. Yeah, engineering seems. I'm gonna be honest, it kind of seems like a pain in the ass to study. Because it's like, engineering is all about innovation, but it's innovation in like very small incremental amounts, and it's all very technical. Or at least, you know, electrical engineering and similar types of jobs, right? At least from what I understand. So you take engineering courses, and engineering is a intentionally very innovative place, but you don't end up going into any sort of innovation for like a very long time in the field because you don't have access to those kinds of resources or those kinds of jobs coming out of the college, right? So you're kind of doing this weird thing where you're not quite like studying what you're going to end up doing at the start of like your job search, which is a little weird. And of course, there's so many little technical bits and bobs and stuff, and in a full, the full process of like designing a functioning product of any sort. Oh my god, Malagos. I am so glad this guy didn't get to continue playing. That is terrifying. That is illegal. A lace. A lace. That's illegal. Wait. Alright. Completely honestly, I should probably go up here. Like, I mean, Anoia would be nice. There's stuff here I could do that would be fine, but I'm genuinely pretty sure I'm supposed to just go up.
Now we are in business.
I feel very strong. Ooh. I mean, it's certainly a weird board to freeze, but I mean, okay, 1, 2, 3 cost me like kind of 6 gold. I get small bust on the Starlisk. I get a 6. I can take the Elise, take the Wildfire. So it'd be, let's see, 6 gold. So by the Wildfire, that'd be 9. That'd sell a Micro Mummy and whatever I get out of the Sewer Rat, or sell like the Starlisk or something. Okay, that seems fine. I mean, I'll have an Elise set up, or I could buy the Light Fang if I'm worried about tempo. Like, if I lose to the Petrus, oh god. It's pretty big. I might not finish the quest next stream. I might just take the rats. Rats. Save me from my sins.
I think you can win this thing.
Yep. That is pretty much what I expected to see when I opened his combat. What's the other Undead 6? Is it the Reborn one? Yeah. Oh, and Colossus. I can hit Liza, I can hit the Greta. Buster's great tempo. Genie and Gar work because I have a Golden Party, so it's like an option. What is Fell Stomper? Oh, wow. Fell Stomper is amazing. Gas Coiler is fine. Yeah, a lot of good 6s.
Welcome back. How's it going out there?
Sure.
Exactly what you were looking for.
Okay. Hear me out on this one.
You're down a minion and up a goal.
My quest begins here.
Bro, what is all this? What it's on something, but I have no idea what it'd be. Maybe I should roll for at least setup. I could die. Strong as Cindy, not that strong. I definitely don't need the brand. Game, I swear to god. That's so fucked up. Oh, I need to... Oh, shit. Fuck it. I need to finish my damn quest. There's a Cyborg Drake in here. Wait. Greed. Give. Wait, why did that appear like that? That was very weird to me. Okay. It's like, it's Fell Stomper, right? There's no other, like, option, really? Like, Manta doesn't really help versus Mix anyway. Oh, you're good, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I have 2 Beasts for Golder, but I'm like 90% sure it's Fell Stomper. And then we sell, buy, play. Swing in like this. Try to survive. I mean, if I survive, it's fantastic. I have so many different like options for scaling. I have a Colossus, which scales incredibly well with stats. Yes, yeah. Ooh, that is loud in a way I'm not sure I appreciate. Let's turn that down a little bit. You know what? We can turn the Hearthstone music up a little bit. I vibe with the Hearthstone music. I do. Turn my desktop sound down. Yeah, don't kill this guy, right? Oh my god. Wait, both my 6 drops lived. That's so rude.
Good at this.
We have Beast, Demon Beast, Undead, Beast Undead. Eh. Blaster's kinda... What's this guy on? I have no idea. Okay. Let's roll. Oh! Interesting.
It's not the
What does that mean? Probably nothing.
fight hard.
It's just kind of funny. Yeah, it's just kind of funny. Buster. Oh my god. Okay, back transition. I just don't know how to do it yet. Okay, so what do I need for a mech transition here? So I need to buy a pup bot.
That one might make all the difference.
Sell Sarlisk by the Titus.
That's quite the
Please.
army you're building, friend.
Pretty pog, if you ask me. Oh, we can actually put the pup bot in the back here. So. Yeah, do you like that? Throat's feeling a little better, Synth, by the way, so I'm definitely going to be starting the next, starting on that VOD as soon as I get done. By the way, how much of the game do you want me to go over? Like, do you specifically want me to go over a part, like, super in-depth? Do you want me to, like, talk about, like, the early game, the mid-game, a specific part of macro or something, right? Because, like, I went over the early game of Zane's VOD, and I kind of, like, flagged out at the end, and it was 8 minutes of gameplay, and I took a little over an hour to go. Oh my god, he's terrifying. Stop. No. Wait. On God, he's missing. Oh no. He missed twice. Wait, but my fucking Eternal Knight, like, horribly missed. That's so messed up. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Have cancer. Boss. Boss, please. Oh my god, Titus is still alive. Wait, am I fucked? Am I dead? Well, I'm not, I can't die here, I don't think, but... I think I lose, right? This fucking card is just absolutely miserable. This is your weekly reminder that Frog should be removed. He's dead. Ghost, I'm fighting.
Battle is really raging.
Maybe the weakest guy. The Reform apparently is very... That's really good.
That's what I
Wait.
would have picked.
No, it's terrible. What the fuck? Why did I buy that? I'm getting out of this shit. I'm going into pure mech. Everyone Titus? Maybe? I'm gonna buy it. There was a grease spot, and I didn't buy it. It is an FF. What am I selling? I'm selling this guy, this guy, this guy, so I have like 3 gold in my hand, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna play Titus. So I have 2 rolls. Reaper. Just slam Reaper.
Safety restrictions offline. Harvesting.
I want the Kangors. I want the taunt. But
Stick around for next time.
yeah, we definitely go Reaper first. Fell Stomper doesn't actually do much here. Kangors might actually be worth picking up right now. Like, sell by the Kangor. How scared am I of this guy? I have no idea. I haven't fought him in like 8 turns, man. No idea what he's doing. Chill. Thank you, thank you. Yep. I just in boss fight hell. Or I assume that was hell. I wish I could turn off I don't actually know if I can turn off Twitch censoring or not. Is this censored on my call it.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
My stream manager, whatever it's called. You take a look. Ow. Shit. Yep, alright. Yeah. That's what it is. Alright. Let me go grab something else to drink. And we get started. Professional streamer. I simply leave my stream for 5 minutes. Alright. Let's get this set up. Where did I save that VOD? Go take a look. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to open a page for external notepad. I got an ad. Oh, okay. I'm thinking. I actually don't remember exactly what I asked at the time. But I do have 2 questions, which is which account should I like which account is this on? And is there a particular part of the game you're like particularly interested in? Like is it like, oh, I don't like I feel like my trade patterns are off, or like I don't understand when to back or when to move. Akano waifu? Okay. Bro, you're shitting on silver ones with this character? Let's see, 57% win rate, some played. Okay. I'm just gonna go into my Alright. I think nice. Okay, so I have your stream up. Or the VOD. Okay. Let's do it. Woo. All right. This is the you know the I guess the thing we really like turn the damn stream on for. So here we go. No, that's fair. I mean, just getting your getting your practice in and getting a benchmark is good. Something I actually might want to do occasionally, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open this up. I don't think I'm going to need to do it much, but I will probably want to jump into the practice tool for something, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull up my login. Alright. So, oh, I downloaded this a little early, so we're starting 40 seconds in. You're covering the mid thing, that's good. Nobody skilled, that's good. Door entering, that's good. I pulled this up just to make sure the video worked, but I want to take a look at your LeBlanc games. Let's go away. Okay. Let's check the most recent 3. 4. Yeah, 4. Alright. I did learn, yeah, Alt, I think Alt is the default. That's what I use. But yeah, if you hold it and left click, then it moves the thing. It auto attacks. Exceptionally useful attack. Alright. So let's take a look. Actually, just out of curiosity, let's see which game this one is. You got a Camille Bard, Zeri, Aurelia. Wow, what a team call. Am I blind? Not on the, Oh, okay. This game was probably on a different account, but that's fine. Doesn't matter much, because what I'm looking at isn't necessarily like your performance in the games. What I want to see is your build choices. Okay. So we're picking LeBlanc and Arise here. We're going to take Electrocute, Sorcery, that's fine. So, what am I hoping to see when I open this tree? I'm hoping to see Electrocute. You could take Cheap Shot or Sudden Impact. I actually would prefer Cheap Shot in this lane, because it means you're a little less reliant on slamming your W into his face directly. Wing into Rise is a little scary, because he can very often get extra damage into the trades. Let's see. I definitely want to see AD, Attack Speed, MR Shard. And then I want to see Nullifying Orb Scorch, because in this matchup, you cannot play to scale. The Hunter rune that you pick is kind of up to you. You're going to take Eyeball Collection. Let's see. Okay, so Taste of Blood. And then Transcendence. I am, like, very definitively not a fan of, like, just slamming Transcendence on LeBlanc. It is fine, but... Okay, I see. So, part of it is that you're not building very much ability haste, so obviously, like, that ability haste will feel better and matter more. I don't want you to build... I want you to... Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you're learning the character. It makes sense to just get super comfortable with a specific page. My personal, like, recommendation would be Electrocute, 3, 3, 3 in bad matchups, where you're just leaving. Or, sorry, in good matchups, where you're just leaving and roaming. And then, 1, 3, 1, where you can rely on your, Cheap Shot and your chains. Or, 3, 3, 1, and just don't fight it, right? I also haven't done the math on how effective Sudden Impact is for LeBlanc in the early game. Runes don't really matter for late game, so like, yeah, Magic Pin outscales Cheap Shot, but doesn't matter. I definitely want to see Nullifying Orb in matchups where your trade pattern is rough into the character and they do magic damage. Nullifying Orb is fantastic. LeBlanc also makes really good use, actually one of the best uses in the entire game, of Dematerializer. I personally take DMAT every single game I play the character. I think it solves her single biggest issue very well, which is pushing cannon waves. She just gets fucked by cannon waves. It's like something that she struggles with really heavily, so big fan of doing that. You should definitely just take 80 adaptive defensive time. Scorch is pretty good on her, because again, you're just playing for dominance, and cooldown's 10 seconds, which means that you're pretty much getting it every time you trade. You take the trade pattern, even up to, like, Ludens, where you have, like, 20 ability haste, 30 ability haste, that kind of thing. little bit of extra damage. Again, like the cheap shot versus sudden impact thing, where I haven't actually done the math, but like cheap shot to sudden impact, that little bit of damage can make the difference between getting a kill and not getting a kill, and that one kill at 5 minutes can translate into 10, at like 30. As for build, okay, so we're against Camille, Diana, Ryze, Lucian, Nami. We have a pretty good bit of dive, but you're definitely the best diver. So Shadowflame makes sense. Into Zonya's, into Void Staff. Did you need Void Staff this game? There's no MR. Yeah, so as LeBlanc, the one thing that you do have is like a huge amount of target selection. So you can build items more specifically to dive into a single character. If you know that a character is very fast movement-wise, but doesn't have blinks, you can take Everfrost and then E them. Ult R them, Everfrost, and then just E them again, right? Like shit like that for locking down, for example, like an Udyr, a Yi who's Alpha Strike and didn't get a reset, Jinx getting resets, right? Like shit like that. So you can play this utility game. She's pretty good at that. Shadowflame is obviously very good second. Zonya's is great. Void Staff is great. I am very much hoping, I haven't looked at the builds yet. Okay, yeah, so we got one right here. I really want to see Death Cap earlier. When you're ahead, like really ahead, I want to see Death Cap third. If you're cracked ahead and your backs are insane, I want to see Death Cap second. LeBlanc's ratios are like, they're really, really, really high. I think her base combo is like 3.1 or something without the E. It's like Q, RQ, W electrocute is like a 3.1 AP ratio or some shit, maybe with Ludens. I don't remember. The point is that if you buy Death Cap, it ups your combo damage by like 700 or 800, right? Add that to the magic pin from Ludens Boots. You're just actually one-shotting people instantly with no effort. You can do it with Shadowflame, but basically the more gold you back with, the more you should lean towards an early Death Cap. And in a game like this one, where you're struggling against a Ryze, and the rest of the team is like dive, or like at least aggression, definitely look for Zonya's second, or at least some form of utility item second. You're not going to be able to keep up with, like if you're already behind, Lucian and Nami are going to actually be a threat to you, and you may not be able to pop them, especially with the exhaust on Nami, like they have double defensive summoners. Lucian can build a Maw, though he didn't do that this game. Heavily recommend looking for utility item into the scaling like damage items and like kind of ignoring Shadowflame because you just don't have the gold to make that work, right? Go through this game. I mean, they're really squishy. Shadowflame's great here. Like I said, cool. Just wanted to take a look. I mean, I knew you weren't building her bad because I've watched you play her a little bit, but I think it's worth talking about and looking at. All right. So I haven't seen yet what matchup we're going into. I'll start talking about the beginning of the game as soon as I see that. Yeah. Because I had trouble with this when I was doing Zane's review, let's just go ahead and start taking notes. Also, I'm just gonna say, like, go ahead and switch to playing DMAT Cosmic or like DMAT Boots. Sorry, not DMAT Cosmic, DMAT Boots. It's, I'm not gonna say it's no. It's required in fives. I want you to take DMAT every time you're in a fives game with it. I can't believe I forgot to mention this last time we talked about LeBlanc, but hey, I'm gonna be completely honest. This is one of the few things where if Connor tells you something else because it's meta, he's just wrong. DMAT is incredible with exactly this character. And Twisted Fate and like Cassidon, right? So there's a couple specific characters where it's really, really good. And then every other character, it's kind of like, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right, because it is relevant because we're going to talk about a split between the two. Let's see. Util second if behind. It's on. Maybe Banshees. decap if your backs are good. Second, third. Back equals high gold plus can buy. Tech. Don't need on or tech. Yeah. Let's see, was there anything else? Damage rune first. Oh. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, because there's stuff I do, but it's just love you, babe. Thanks. You're right. On God. Right. I'm just gonna kind of let this go. I'll talk the moment I have like a series of things to talk about, but I can't until I see the matchup. So where's your lane opponent? What? Bro, it's mid lane. Oh, it's Cashew. Okay. So it's minute 40. Let's talk about objective in this game. You are playing LeBlanc in a Castle. Your team is Aurelia, Camille, Zeri, Bard. I don't have to look at like the rest of the like map really to at least make like some comments on stuff like this. What is like the way you win this game? And there are a couple different ways to define it, right? Like I'm not looking for like a specific word. But how would you say you win this game? Yeah, that's I should have been a little more clear. What is the win condition of the team? Because that's what you should do, right? That's how you should play more or less. But what do you when the team wins, what happens, right? Like what is the game situation where the team wins? Right? Like is it a character getting fed? Is it a character getting behind? Is it soul? Is it split pushing? Forcing fives, right? Like what are you looking for here? All right. Well, casting in 0 money. Casting in 0 nuts. Okay. Okay. So I feel very comfortable saying that Camille and Aurelia are not good team fighters, and Bard can very comfortably do both team fighting and like very mobile split push stuff. So we also see every time Caston is on a team, he skews the game, right? He doesn't get prio early. His matchups are very polarized. He builds a certain way, and he requires people to play around him in the mid and late game. So we know they have a Caston. We don't even need to know the rest of the champions. We know they have a Caston, and we know that you have multiple champions that beat Caston in a 1v1 at all stages of the game, right? Caston can never kill Camille, never kill Aurelia. So your win condition for this team is to have Camille and Aurelia in different lanes with enough gold to force their advantages. And like you said, that means your win condition is not being in lane. Your goal is to go places and force advantage through pressure, right? Because again, like you said, this lane sucks. You can't beat Cassidon in like fair 1v1 most of the time, especially with his recent buffs. That being said, the biggest first thing I'm seeing is that you didn't auto the minions at all at the start of the game. And I'm going to assume that that's because you want to like try to harass him or contest him off the minions here. But I'm gonna let this play to see if it happens, but I assume what's going to happen is you're going to either miss CS or miss damage because the minions are dying at the same time that Cassidons are. Yeah, so he got all 3 minions. He should not get all 3 minions, right? Regardless of the champion, the matchup, right? Like, you're a strong early game character with mobility, and he is Cassidon level 1. Like, there's only so much you can do. So, the first big thing, and I think this is very important, especially when you've assessed your win condition, is knowing when you can force a tutor recall, which is almost always against super high scalers, and being ready to do it. The big reason that I like to say tutor recall specifically here is because that's the default. But if anything is happening on the map, if you feel comfortable running in and invading due to early game vision, if you feel comfortable running and invading because their jungler just shows bot and kills or something, if your jungler pings invades, if a fight breaks out in Crab, or if Cassidon takes a bunch of damage and greeds, pressure pushes all of that, and your character is very safe to do so, right? As long as you're warding and you're aware of your pushing up, LeBlanc is not a character that is going to easily die to ganks, right? You have a really powerful escape, you have a second escape if you need to, you're always ranged, and you have a CC. With that being said, I don't know if you know this, but the general cheater recall setup is to auto 4 times. My goddamn alarm is going off. Go away. So you auto each melee minion once, and you auto 1 additional time. Then you last hit as tightly as you can, and then slam in the wave on the 3rd push. You can't demat the first cannon wave, but that's why demats are so good, because they let you make those kinds of pushes when LeBlanc normally can't. And without having a significant amount of mana. The fact that you don't have like cheater recall set up here means that Cassidon is able to get the minions without taking damage. If these minions are lower, right? So these are all 1 auto attack lower. Now this is 1 more auto attack low. Auto attack kill the first minion. Auto attack kill the second minion. And instead of Wing there, you can give the 3rd minion to W auto proc electrocute 200 damage on Cassidon. And that already, it's small advantage, but that is advantage, and it's not advantage that you can trade back. At absolute worst, you take 1 or 2 minion volleys and a single auto attack. Yeah, this kind of positioning and jousting here is absolutely fine. You should definitely do this. I don't have any problem with this. Yep, not pushing the auto when it's a single auto and you can't get anything off it is fine. Chain second is good. Good pressure. Meal's griefing. Yep. All right. So this is where you just immediately roam. You know the Cassidon is stuck under turret last hitting. The minions are going to be hitting the turret for a while. And Cassidon is no longer pokeable out of lane because your jungler's fucking died, which means there's no pressure, and he has a red buff. So what you can do now to get like guaranteed priority somewhere is to just take a stroll over to blue buff and ward it, right? If you go do that the moment you see Camille die, right, you're just like, all right, fuck it. Right here, right? Kill these minions. Or really, you don't even have to kill these minions. You want to get the melee. But your XP will not be fucked if you kill that. So, like right now, 1 second earlier, you start walking to blue. It takes about 10 seconds to walk over there, put a ward on blue. So let's see what's happening at 2:32 game time. Right. Wave is right here. Just like LeBlanc, Cassidon has trouble pushing early, right? Like he just doesn't have access to that much damage. This guy's no potions. He desperately wants to recall. If you run over there, put a ward on blue, run away. You have given your top laner information about whether he's going to get dove. You have given, you've forced your jungler to understand where the opposing jungler is. Not that that matters too much because you saw bot leash. You have vision of whether he's going to pass to Gromp and then to Crab, or whether he's going to pass to Crab. And at 2:42, you're going to be back in lane. So that's Cassidon missing 2 Qs, 1 W, and 8 auto attacks, right? He's forced to push in the wave, but it's very unlikely that he is able to actually crash it, right? Like, this wouldn't crash. You could just walk up and fuck with him and freeze it, right? Pop a potion, get all the minion XP. You didn't actually miss any XP. GP Prodigy, goddamn. Pause from Synth real quick. Yeah, I'll upload the Zane, are you okay with it being public on my YouTube? Because posting it to YouTube is actually the easiest way to share it. I can easily leave it like unlisted so you can just see it with a link, or I can post it publicly. That's fine? Alright. It's you said early game, so I just went over the first 8 minutes or so. The TLDR is like at the end. It's about an hour. Just to give you a summation. Alright. So this is kind of the same thing, Synth, as the problem that you had at level 1, right? And like I say problem, it's I guess a misinterpretation of the situation. At this point, and typically just against cannon minions when you're a squishy champion without like great sustain, you can't really hold a freeze by just tanking it, right? Even Cassidon can walk up, like throw another 150 damage at you. The cannon's just going to shoot you for 30 every time it shoots. You have 1 potion, but you're going to take a lot more than 150 trying to freeze this for like 15 seconds, right? You're stuck on map and vision. You're stuck on your side of the lane. You're not doing anything. What should have been happening is this entire time on the minions, since you didn't go and get priority anywhere else, you should be hitting the minions. And genuinely, you should be hitting the minions over hitting Cassidon, right? Like, I would be using my abilities on the minions. I would be doing what I can to clean it up. So we're missing damage, right? We've already missed 3 auto attacks, 4 auto attacks, okay, 5 auto attacks, a Q and 6 auto attacks, Q, W, and 7 auto attacks, QW and 8 auto attacks, right? So all the melees could be dead, and you could be set up to last hit the cannon easily, right? He would have less pressure. And again, remember, he wants as much pressure as possible because he's Cassidon, he has no sustain, and he needs to recall. Even if he's not recalling when he had a good recall, which is right there, he probably should have gone base. Doesn't matter, right? Because that's his decision, not yours. What you should be thinking about is trying to play around your opponent's best option. And your opponent's best option is to recall because he's Cassidon and he has no sustain. That's it. Good chain. Nice. Big. So that's a good roam. You have red buff. Now, what I'm hoping for right here is to see you not push this wave. The enemy jungler can definitely come punish you and at least get your flash. I think it's very, very unlikely that if you push this wave, the enemy jungler doesn't get your flash or kill you. Because you're going to need to use your W to push the wave. Especially with no demats, right? It's cannon wave. And I'm pretty sure right here, we'll see the problem. Oh, I wasn't even tracking that. Duh. Yeah, so you definitely shouldn't push waves where your opponent has TP. The opportunity cost for taking Ignite is that when you kill your opponent, you cannot deny them the cannon off an early push, right? Like, you just can't, there's no point in trying to do so. So, if your opponent has TP, and they die pre-level 6 mid lane, you kill what you can of minions, and then you take the fastest reset that you can that doesn't involve you losing multiple waves, right? And, you know, pre-6, Cassidon doesn't want to be pushed up. What's he going to do? Roam, put a ward down, and die to Camille? No, he's going to wait for this wave to crash even. But if you don't walk up and hard shove it, then the wave actually crashes evenly. Because you walked up and hard shoved it, Cassidon now has a freeze, which means you lose this wave, maybe the next wave. He has an XP lead, now he's going to hit 6 first, so you're going to be fucked. You have 75 gold. You have left base. Please purchase a control word. I'm joking, obviously. It's like, it's not that big a deal, actually, because you do genuinely need a lot of gold to make up for the rough start. But, yeah, it is really important. And it's very important in these kinds of lanes where it's like, you can't win. At this point, you almost guaranteed can't win by directly fighting him. He's a counter. He's gotten past the one part of the game that's bad. And he's like a level ahead of you. Somewhere in there, right? You see you're halfway to level 4. You know he was level 5 before he froze like a fucking wave and a half on you and got a free cannon. So, this is more focus on the champion, right? What you should be doing is hitting the wave. Or not hitting the wave, right? But whatever your option is, like, you want to let him push in, that's fine. Personally, I would try to move, but as long as you have a good reason for playing, like, casually, then it doesn't matter, right? Alright, micro thing right here. Watch that again. I want to make sure I'm seeing this correctly. Did I scooch it back enough? I'm not super comfortable with, like, moving on the software. No, I didn't. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So right here, he can put up a shield. You're gonna miss a CS, and if you trade, you're gonna take minion aggro, which is gonna make it a little weaker. But you do have an option here, to take a trade that's positive. And I'm actually gonna go into practice tool to demonstrate this real quick. It won't take too long. Plus, having the practice tool might be useful for some other options. I don't know if it'll be useful, but I'll take flash. Okay.
Looks can be deceiving.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just soft, so I can leave the practice tool up for now. Shift B, dummy down. Okay.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
I should have come in on red side, but the concept is still demonstrable blue side. So, let me look at this to make sure I have the spacing, like, quote unquote correct. So I can actually use the pen tool. And I can draw a line. Let's draw a line. So Cassidon is right here. And we are right here. We can see where the W's coming out, right? This is the space that we're covering. I believe this line will stay, yeah, cool. So Cassidon is in turret. He's here, right? He's here. So whatever, right? It's very close, but he's here. This is Q range. I can't move my camera, goddammit. Whatever. It's fine. You saw me set it up. Gotta add. Right. Oh wait. Because if you're seeing it live, then it makes sense to wait. I'm gonna upload it anyway, but right, I have it up on excuse me. On my like random account. Oh my god, that's so stupid. Okay. Add over. Okay, you're back. Cool. I put a dummy right where I am so we can see. Let's turn the toggle Terrifier off. So what you went for is, and we'll put an enemy dummy back here. So you went for this minion auto Q, right? And I have Halo Blades, so my attack was a little slower, but and that makes you take a tower shot. You also, because you auto while in range of your Q range is the same as most other targeted abilities. It's that default 600 plus the radius of the character. Cassidon's range of his Q is the same as yours, and he generates a shield. So he the longer you spend in this space, the more likely it is that he's going to be able to block some of your damage. Now, of course, if you're going to use your W in the trade, you can't really stop him from blocking your damage. But especially in lower elo, it's still worth hedging that he just won't react in time, right? So instead of taking this trade, which misses Electrocute, or the other trade, this Halo Blaze is actually really messing up the idea. But this is what I would want you to do here, which is W sideways, and then start your auto, and W backwards. And Halo Blades makes it really hard to demonstrate this properly, but... Fucker. I have an attack speed page! If you auto-attack... Let's see here. There, like that. So you can snap off auto-attacks in tower range. Like, actually in tower range. That's worth spacing around. And then, keeping in mind, your W's range, like the AoE, actually pretty reasonable. Definitely using QW to proc your Q from, like, a place where your opponent thinks they're safe in tower. It's very useful. So now we're low. We know Kassan's going to 6 before us. And at this point, we've committed very heavily to, like, trying to let the wave come into us. So we're just kind of hoping that he E's for CS. Roaming here is an option. He can't leave the lane until he 6s. At the very least, I would definitely have been moving my camera to check wave state and bot and top. And I'm going to cut it back real quick. I believe we haven't seen bot lane in a while, right? Can we get play it, like... Speed. Alright, I'm going to play the VOD at 1.5x, because that just helps. Okay, so we see Jhin pushed up a little bit. Lux is pushed up. But we don't know their health. We don't know what they're trying to do with the wave, right? Because we can't see them. We just know they're pushed up. Are they trying to let it crash, get harassed and forced it back? Do they have priority? Do they have a level advantage? You don't know any of these things, so you haven't moved your camera. Same thing top lane. Is Darius trying to freeze? Is he going to slow push? Or is he going to try to force it in? Now, in 10 seconds, you see he's still at the tower. You know he's either freezing or slow pushing, but you don't know which, and you would know if you moved your camera, right? Yeah, it just is... You want to be moving your camera. You want to be aware of the enemy. And very easy way to do that is just anytime that you, like, step back away from pushing the wave, or anytime that you've cleared out the wave under turret and it's about to recrash, you have, 3-4 seconds where you can just fully focus in on checking in on the map, right? Where are my wards? Anyone pinged an enemy ward? What's the lane state of the other places? What's my jungler's rotation going to look like, right? And you can check into that in a couple seconds. You have the game sense to understand that when you're actually taking the time to absorb the information, right? So all it is creating the habit to absorb that info, right? Something here that I think is worth mentioning. And this is a little risky. I'm not necessarily saying this is a good thing, but oh Jesus, what? Oh my God, fuck off! Why did you do that? That's so annoying. That's so annoying. Okay. I hit escape and it, like, juped me out. Okay. What I was looking for is about seconds farther back. Here? Nope. Okay. I'm just gonna let it play. I'll pause. Okay. So, right now, we're playing at this range, right? Which is like, your W takes you to about here, and your W or your Q, somewhere in this range. You don't have to know exactly. What you have to know is that this is like reasonably outside of your range. This line here is also bigger than this line, right? So, what this means is that even though your character has relatively comfortable short trade patterns against basically anyone, even Cassidon, if he walks up to contest this minion, you aren't in range to get your QW off, right? You need a second to be in range. Like, not a second, I'm sorry. You need like a quarter of a second to be in range for a QW. It takes the cast time of the Q and the travel time of the W. So, this is an opportunity for poke. Now, if you want to be safe because you think he might 6 off like exactly this minion and punish you super hard for it, I understand. I wouldn't blame you for that. But I want to make sure that you're aware of these kinds of decisions, right? Where it's like, he's going to feel comfortable enough to try to look for CS. If you're standing like, anywhere on this line right here, and your line to wherever he's trying to CS, right? Because this is his Q range, because it's the same as your Q range, so you know this. if you're spacing him right in mirror, he's this like 100 extra units forward, you're this 100 extra units forward, you can combo it. I've seen it a couple times where you're a little more willing to give space than you should be, especially with LeBlanc, so when I mention it. And this is the big reason, right? So your engage range on him is like here. And you're, an extra 150 units or so away. This is not coverable, like, in an amount of time where he would have an opening, right? But he's just used his Q. He's still not 6. There's not a minion that's about to die instantly, and there's not a minion that he can force to die instantly with his kit. You have a window here to walk up, auto with red buff, and then QW, maybe hit the E, maybe another auto, whatever, right? You have a trade. You have a very clear trade opportunity here. But again, because you don't feel comfortable spacing just outside, like, his poke, and just inside, like, where your minions are, right? You're not going to get that opportunity. There's something else hanging over the lane that I've alluded to, but I really want to talk about, but I'm going to wait until this part of the lane resolves. So we're going to jump away. We're going to get popped here. Yeah. Force the flash. Good to call the flash. He was going to R-flash you in just a moment there. It's good. He definitely should be hard pushing this. I don't know what he's waiting to R. It's pink! Bog! Love to see it. Oh. I don't need the control word. I'm LeBlanc. Oh, that was fucking hilarious. No potions, no pink, and it's like an ego thing after you just lost lane. That's really funny. I get it. No. It's yeah. Here. Yeah. I can turn. Where is it? Thinking. Sorry. Does this work? This isn't playing the audio correctly. Oh my. I got some stuff in my eyes, brother. Oh yeah. Alright. Cancel. Yeah, damn it. I don't think you can hear yourself, but... Yeah, you literally said, actually, I don't even need the control word. What am I doing? I'm LeBlanc. And you refund. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. The coach in me is so proud. Everyone has done it. It happens to everyone. Don't worry about it. I mean, I literally saw you, know that you were supposed to purchase the control word. I will. I absolutely will. Won't be too hard to do. But that's funny as shit. Okay. Skip ahead a little bit. Get you back in lane. Oh, actually, that's right. Okay. So, we're backing on 1,000 gold here. We're not buying consumables, which is a little rough, especially when you know you're in a lane where you want to be trading. LeBlanc doesn't really have the ability to beat Cassidon without, looking for trade. You just don't have the ability to all in him, right? By the time you get 6, he gets 6, especially because you already know he has a level advantage. And your CC is delayed, your damage is all magic, and he's got 10% reduced magic damage and a shield. Just not, really feasibly killable without harass. So you know you're going to be trading, and you know that you need to stay above a certain health threshold to stop him from turning it on you the moment you play aggro. Because you do only have one blink, you have to use the blink to aggress, and his reactive burst is probably going to force you to burn cooldowns, right? Potions can really help with that. It basically means, if you buy 2 potions, you're basically walking out of the base with 1,220 health, which means 220 more, which is kind of like matching 2 shields from him, which would be 1 trade pattern and 1 all-in. That's one of the ways you can think about it. There are a lot of ways you can think about it, but that's the one I tend to prefer. Regardless of that, We've got 247 gold. I was talking about the wave state earlier, where it was like, I would want to push in Rome. A big part of the reason I'd want to push in Rome here is because, so, let me talk it through. First, I know that my bot side is got a Camille and a Bard on it, right? Both those champions are very good at picks. They're very good at, like, weird skirmishes, right? Like, Camille's got a giant hook shot. Bard is on some shit. And your character is also good at those. So you want to try to force them. Even when the game is even, right? You can't play for lane dominance here. You should definitely be looking to have an impact, right? You never want to feel like your goal is to equalize in mid, unless you're being picked a scaler. Kassadin can look to equalize in mid, but LeBlanc can't, right? If the game goes even and you pick up your third item at the same time, you fucking lost. You got nothing. So, giving CS or giving wave, giving like a quote-unquote optimal wave state of like it shoving you when like you could catch a wave in like a minute and a half is completely worth going and forcing a ton of pressure and getting a single kill bot lane. Even if you go like 2 for 1 and you die, it's fine because you achieved your goal of forcing the entire enemy team to lose pressure, and nothing has changed mid because Kassadin was always going to get that farm. You weren't always like not really going to be able to pressure Kassadin off that farm. And when I was talking about the trade patterns and the options and stuff, the reason that I was so specific about those trade patterns is that if you're not going to be able to trade like that, you can't take the aggressive stance and the aggressive options, like staying here, like trying to contest him off CS in a game state where you don't have a win condition in the lane itself, right? And like we said, the start of the round, or the start of the coaching session, VOD review, whatever the hell you want to call it, your win condition isn't you. It has nothing to do with you as a player, it's just this game, the way the teams are set up, the fact that you're against Kassadin, and the fact that Camille fucking griefs you level 2, your win condition is just different from what you want it to be. So, you probably know this, because you play mid lane, and have played it once. Lost Chapter is the power spike, right? If you go, get a kill, die, you get Lost Chapter pink. Like, you're bot right now at 267 gold. Or you're, I don't know, walking around with Bard or some shit. Or you go top and, like, flip a dive on Darius or something. Obviously, right now, the wave states don't show that. But, again, we haven't seen what's happening on the map. We haven't seen their movement. And even though we've been pushed up, we haven't moved to ward anything. We have the lazy ward in topside bush. And so our information is very limited. So we can't make map plays. But we can't win in lane. So we're already making like very drastic mistakes, right? Even if it doesn't feel like we're making drastic mistakes, because like we're not dying, our jungler is the one that fucked us over, and jungler is the one that fucked you over, right? Like Camille fucking died level 2 and gave Cassadin a red buff in a free lane. That's really bad, no matter what, you know. But because the Cassadin has misplayed and because you still have priority early, there are plenty of things that you could have been doing. And that's the point, right? It was like there's always more. And that's why it's so nitpicky. It's not like inherently you're a bad player. And like to be clear, that's not at all what I intend to imply. But yeah, now you're in the situation where you have Lost Chapter gold and you want to back, and you're in a bad like wave state where like he's already 6, you're 5. You can't really trade with him, right? You can't go aggro because the moment you go aggro, you have to lose your flash. So this is kind of the punish for not doing something more aggressive with the lane, is that because you were in a losing spot, eventually something was forced to happen where the losing spot became a lost spot, right? And it's like, oh, well now I'm down a back, prio, cannon, like 5 or 6 more minions, and it's just that snowball, right? So now I can skip forward a little bit. I would probably be willing, by the way, to W back there. You know he's going to be able to back, and the odds are very likely that he's going to be able to back before you're able to find a kill window. You do kill him with your full combo here, with Ignite, Electrocute, couple auto attacks, full combo, right? But the odds that you're able to actually slam that full combo into him and he doesn't start playing around it, like the moment you hit 6, are very low. You just got back. You can't really afford to get, like, to be forced off the map again. Because, again, you're a very heavy tempo champion that relies on making plays, and you're not the win condition. So, yeah, odds are small. Definitely. So, the, like, the option here, the one that I would say, is be willing to use your cooldowns to reduce damage. Even though it feels weird, because it's like, LeBlanc's W early mid is, like, always this tool that just makes insane damage happen. You just don't have a way to do it. There's just not a functional way to make the damage happen safely. So go ahead and be willing to dodge out of that force pulse. Dodge out of the bad, like, setup, the minion auto. What you can do is walk up and buffer a max range Q. You'll be in range of his R, but if he does the standard Cassidon combo of RQE, and you W the entire, like, space backwards that you can W the entire range away from him. You can dodge damage. Typically, at the very least, you dodge his W. And then you can just turn around and press your E, right? He's just Rift walked in. You've buffered your Q, so your Q's already hit. And frankly, like, in that trade, you can just fucking ignite or ult for extra damage. Like, there is no problem when you're behind with forcing the player into a bad spot by just burning ignite. It is the only way ignite can really be used as a pressure tool instead of a kill tool, right? Whereas, like, exhaust, TP can all be hedged as threats, shit like that. Flash, obviously, for sure. Like, you can walk up and just hover flash range as, like, Gragas or Caston or whoever. That's what Ignite lets you do. Ignite lets you lower the enemy by proccing Electrocute and getting a far more aggressive trade than you might otherwise expect. Not the best idea. I may not have done it right there, but it's something that's at least on my mind. Okay. Very important. I would try very, very hard to never double W the range creeps. You can take a quick look at exactly how much it is, but I believe for this you're going to pick up 5 range creeps, which is cue that minion. Yeah, so you get that one with an auto, and then so we're going to get 13 times 5. So we're going to get math is hard. 70. We're going to get 75, 65. We're going to get 65 gold from that QW. But what it doesn't give us is any sort of tempo. In fact, you even 70, whatever. It's not much. It's 3.5 melees. It's a cannon, right? And then in return, you get nothing. You get no tempo or anything like that. In fact, you take a little bit of poke. And it may not end up being relevant, but this is another one of those, like, hedge your bets thing. Yeah, so Caston's left for a moment. If you have WR here, you have the punish. You have the free reset, right? So, yeah, there you go. This is we should definitely know what's happening bot already, right? You don't really have to focus on that mid fight. And I'm not going to mention it again. Like, we already talked about it. I don't like mentioning the same thing. Like, when I see the same mistake multiple times in a coaching session, unless it's, like, macro or, like, logic based, I don't like mentioning it. But definitely need to get in the habit of moving your camera more. It'll help you in solo queue just like it will in 5s. There, so Caston is now unkillable. So I think that the communication there is a mistake, actually. It sounds a little weird, but if you're weak side, losing, and your jungler's tilted at you for some reason, I have no idea if Camille's actually tilted at you, but people tilt off weird shit, and she did die to your laner level 2. That could have been your fault in, some, whatever the base part of her mind is controlling her legal. I've seen shit like that, right? Like, so, and this is a general rule that I think is true for 5s. I think it's true for solo queue. I would not ask for pressure weak side. Right? Good time to gank is true. It is a good time to gank. If he rift walks away into Camille's hookshot and then she Rs, you're going to push a ton of damage. Maybe you kill him. And if you kill him and you pick up the kill, everything's kind of like suddenly flipped, and it's like, oh, I'm right back to having prio. I have like fast Everfrost or a fast Lost Chapter Ludens. Like options are represented on the table, but the odds are low, and the opportunity cost of Camille ganking mid, looking for a gank on a Cassidum without vision control, is very high. She has to find, or get lucky with finding, a way around vision. Cassidum has to not know. You have to have all your cooldowns, which means you might miss CS. Cassidum has to die to the gank, and you have to get it. All these things have to happen for it to be a good gank for you. It's a good gank for Camille if she gets the kill. But again, that's still opportunity cost, and it's a lot of time. She still has to move. She can't move with hookshot. She's not farming her camps. She's not farming her camps, even though all 4 of her small camps are up. Depending on how the mid fight goes, how low she gets, whether she picks up a kill, she could be down up to 600 gold. That would be fine if you were strong side, right? If you were the Cassidon, and this was the LeBlanc who was fed, and it's like, I know he's mobile, I know she's mobile, but, like, I have a CC, you're Camille, let's just force on her, right? You can ask that, because a kill on you, right now, that's a shutdown, could actually just straight up win the game. But a kill on LeBlanc is just going to put you back in. And of course, you're happy to get kills, you're going to be looking for them still, but it's not going to flip the entire course of the game. Once you've established in the lane in some way that you're not going to be able to get a clear lead. I need to go to the back. Be right back. Right. Oh, shit. My headphones are stuck in my chair. It's pain, life is pain. Okay. Very neat, very cool. Thinking about where I want to keep going from here. Normally I consider early game, like actual early game TM, to be the first 8 or 9 minutes, because after that point, advantages that exist are established, right? And even when people change their play patterns in the lane or try to get an advantage in the lane, it's based on like what they've started to counter build, their plan. The matchup is like very, very relevant at that point still. Basically, I think that at this point, it's reasonably unlikely that anything will be more beneficial to talk about in the early game for laning than it would have been in the first 8 minutes. So, I think my question is, what do you want to talk about past this point? Do you want to go over any of the rest of the game? If you do you want to talk about, like, where you wanted to be on the map? Do you want to talk about, like, go over, like, ward placement? Like, oh, I like this, I don't like this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You want to go over the rest? Okay. So I'm definitely not going to go as in-depth about the decisions. Because my throat hurts and my friend's coming over in, like, 15 or 20 minutes. But, I'm going to let it play, at least for a while. Well, actually, it's only 15. It's only 15 more minutes. And I'll talk about stuff as I see it. So the big thing, and I'm noticing this like pretty constantly, is that you don't really have access to vision control options. you're feeling like that deep ward mid spots some of Kassadin's roams, but it doesn't actually. Oh fuck! Really? Oh my god! I thought I still had it on. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. At least it wasn't for too long. I just realized. Okay. Well, that's fine. Quote unquote. Ah, I'm a dumbass. Whatever. Yeah. So I'd say right there, like the moment that you have to step across the halfway point in the lane to trade, when the lane is in like this rough of a state, I would just immediately leave. Yeah, I just hadn't changed the scene to the right one. I clicked the wrong scene. So you're trying to bait here. The only thing you have to keep in mind is you just don't have a consistent way to lock it down, right? Even if Darius isn't there. I mean, the Avengers are there, but you don't have enough damage to force him to kill Kassadin. Camille's level 7, Bard's level 6. Skips to 17, sure. Okay. So it's 16 minutes we have Everfrost Orcs. We did get a little bit lucky there. Darius not having Legend Tenacity is a bit weird. And also, you might have just fucking died if he did. I don't know if you already had if you were already aware that he doesn't have Legend Tenacity, or if that was a bit of a flip, but regardless, keep in mind that a lot of top laners are going to look for that, and that you become a lot less safe looking for the kind of cheeky LeBlanc pokes when your opponent has Legend. Okay. I mean, look, I'm not against flips and solo queue. I get it. It's just I think it's very worth mentioning that that one in particular is one you'll commonly lose if you take it. You don't know if that's warded. You don't really have any reason to walk up there. You're spending time not doing anything when there are minions mid. Even though even though 2 of them were showing mid, they want dragon, and there's no guarantee that anyone can actually cover it. So, you know, like right now, you're down a wave, basically. He's out. Right. I don't know if you heard me talking about this, but basically, you know they're going to be moving to dragon, like. Around this point in time, when you dance around the see, so you dance around this area here for a bit, it doesn't accomplish anything, and there's not really a drastic way to accomplish anything there. I think you're aware of that. But the entire time that you're doing that, there's another wave mid that ends up dying, and you're at the point where it's like, if nothing is like clearly available, if you have the choice between resources and pressure, you go for resources, mainly because you can't apply pressure, right? Like, if Lux is able to walk at you, even if her team is there, if Lux is able to walk at you and you're playing LeBlanc, you are not in a position where you can like easily pressure on your own. Skip forward to you coming vault lane. We are going to catch the wave here, which is good. I don't know if you've gotten comfortable with this yet, but LeBlanc is a very, very good split pusher. It's a lot of what she ends up doing in 5s, so you'll be in a side lane the majority of the time, post like 15 minutes. Because you're one of the safest champions at catching those over exuded zone. Bard takes a bad path in. Beat the snare. Never throw out the Everfrost before your snare finishes. Tower targeted off Ignite, rip. You can definitely walk to this. Casa and Vi have shown mid multiple times. I would definitely just back immediately. Yeah. Your team's not going to be there. And the enemy team is making a large push. Now, it's not always worth coming to a large push if you think it's going to be stopped. But in this particular case, because your gold total is low, if you pick up like 2 kills in a fight, right, get lucky, last hit, whatever it is, the percentage of gold that you have is going to go up, right? 10% of 100 gold added to 1,000 gold is 10%. 100 gold added to 500 gold is 20%, right? You're going to be getting quote unquote more gold from those high rolls, so it's, quote unquote more worth. Oh my god. Yeah, Vice smited at like 1250, and then your next instance of damage got it. Nice, it's really good. I would... Ooh. Let me look at that again real quick to see if this is something I'd like to do. Okay, yeah, you should definitely be looking for the Lux here. Alright. This is like a kind of higher level LeBlanc thing. When you W there to try to pick up the kill, which is reasonable, you should probably do that. Like we were just talking about, that little bit of gold that you could pick up would be huge. Don't cast your Q on the Darius here. You know he's dead. Your whole team is standing right there and he has no fucking way out. But if you have your RW, you can use it to chase on the Lux, right? So if here, instead of jumping back to your W... Wait, what? Oh, I pressed the fucking... Oh, god damn it. So, yeah, right there. I want to very clearly pause on a specific spot. You also don't really need to Everfrost there, but yeah, that's the thing. So if right there, if you stay pushed up, they don't really have a way to burst you, because again, like if Cassidum Rift walks in, he's dead, right? He's aware of that, and you can use that, right? I mean, if he Rift walks in and kills you, that's all pressure gone. There's turrets dropping. Doesn't matter, right? No, does not matter how bad your team is. If they just walk into a lane, right, and they're all pretty high HP, then turrets are dropping. Cassid also probably can't one-shot you at 1400. And 2 items he's missing that damage. But like, yeah, you can just take your second W up here. E-Lux. Odds are pretty high that one of your teammates moves over there. And like we were talking about, we have 2 characters that are really good at killing Cassidon. And Darius is already in a bad spot. Early already has stuff passive. Yeah, so you and one other person will very likely end up chasing Lux. Lux either flashes the chain or she's dead, by the way. Like, she does not have a way away from you. It is not possible for her to escape that. So, one of those things where, yeah, once you get more comfortable with the champion, and, more comfortable and more comfortable and more comfortable, because that's just how League works, right? You start seeing all the little opportunities that you may not see when you're first comfortable. You're gonna walk top, which is really good. Like we were just talking about, picking up resources is good if you don't have a guaranteed play right now. The pressure top is nice. You should know what item you're going for and try to be targeting it. You have Rift. It's interesting. Luckily, he does not see you. Very cool. So, when you're already feeling low econ, the point at which I back with components and can't buy the needlessly large rod is probably where I would start building as something besides Shadow Flame. Or, at the very least, you have 750 right here. You could just buy a stopwatch. It'll allow you to do some really aggressive shit for the Baron play that, you shouldn't have access to. But stopwatch lets you cheat a little bit. Your flash is going to be up, right? So you can, look for like W flash, Everfrost type shit, whatever you need to be looking for to hit that limited but very targetable utility that you have. Because I think you're aware of this, the team that wins this Baron fight is probably going to win the game. So, looking to pivot off of Shadow Flame in these kinds of cases, where you're like behind, could make a really good use out of a utility item. Like if they have an Aatrox and a Mundo, maybe an Oblivion Orb would get that kind of thing. And then at the same time, if you know that you're going to struggle to back with a large amount of gold for a single B, then Needless Large Rod is very punishing. because you'll spend like maybe a couple backs where you're just in base, can't buy anything, Lamau, and you're like momentarily falling off even harder than you already are because you're an early game champ who's like kind of behind. So again, what are we picking up here, and why are we going back? And I don't have a problem with backing. There it is. So you have 1,000 gold floating now, and when you're looking for a Baron fight and you're trying to squeeze everything you can out of it before you start to get outscaled, you really don't want to be floating 1,000 gold, right? And of course, this isn't exactly a good LeBlanc item, but if you're building into Horizon Focus, for example, it's much more comfortable. It's a problem that's presented very specifically with Shadowflame, Deathcap, and now also Seraphs. Kind of Void Staff, because Void Staff has 3 like 800 breakpoints, but 800's a lot more Team is in a very weird spot. There. Oh, you got hella greedy. Yeah, if you're running away, let them break the chain. It means they have to step out, which probably means you live. This is a very, very uncoordinated like move. That's their Hex Soul. Oh boy, Markin's here. Shit. Ah, stepped on my thing. The phone, headphones. Woo! Right back. Also, my room's... Yeah, Logan's here. Okay. Alright. So, y'all win this game? Because the way you said it, like, turning around. There's no shot, right? It seems like such a lost game. What the fuck? Did they just all die to Zeri and, like, your very aggressive, like, reset comp in a team fight? Was it just the, like, Cassid and Can't Answer their late game? Yeah, okay. We can definitely talk about the rest of this at another time, because LeBlanc is actually one of the more, like, optimizable champions late game. Yeah, we actually did. So yeah, I'm absolutely down to continue talking about this later. And I'll save the notepad and I'll fill it out and have like a more concise set of advice for you. But yeah, thanks for the VOD. Thanks for listening. Showing up. All right. Later.